Well, they flocked in their tens of thousands to Flemington today for the Melbourne Cup, which proved one of the closest finishes in years. As the fashionable and the not-so-fashionable displayed their best off-course, the main race proved to be the highlight of the day. In a photo finish, Dunaden won the Cup from Red Cadeau, with Lucas Grenache running third.
Dunaden and Red Cadeau, they hit the line. A photo finish between Dunaden and Red Cadeau, nothing in it.
It's a great moment for me. And, this is incredible.
As the country stopped to watch the race, a crowd of more than 100,000 packed Flemington.
It's been billed the French Revolution, 2 Gallic horses winning the Melbourne Cup in consecutive years. Last year, Americain, and this year, by an absolute whisker, Dunaden. I was joined a short time ago from Flemington by both the horses' jockey, Christophe Lemaire, and the trainer, Mikel Delzonglay. Firstly, congratulations to both of you. Mr Lemaire, it was so close in the end. What was running through your mind in the final 30 seconds of the race and then in that tense couple of minutes afterwards?
Yes, passing the winning post, I was not sure if I won or not. Of course, it's intense moments, and I was looking everywhere to see if the cameras or the public was looking at more jockey than another one. So I was waiting for the final results, and then when I could hear the crowd shouting, but I didn't know for who. And then when I passed the first turn, the people on the stand told me that I was the winner. So then this was a big emotion inside, and then I could celebrate the victory.
And how about you, Mr Delzonglay? What was running through your mind in that couple of minutes after the race?
I have to say, I'm a bit pessimistic, so I thought we were beaten, and that stopped the emotion completely. But it's been long. The photo took quite a long time, and when it arrived, I've had time just to relax.
Mr Delzonglay, how much of your success and your strategy for Dunaden do you owe to your former mentor, Alain de Royer-Dupree, who's Americain's trainer?
Well, definitely a lot. Well, I didn't know much about Australia, so I asked him a few things, and we tried to do the same he did with American last year.
So the same sort of strategy in terms of the preparation and the lead up to the race?
Yes, kind of. We thought the Geelong Cup definitely looked like a good pre-race to the Melbourne Cup, so we had that objective in mind.
And Mr Lemaire, what was your plan for the ride, and were you able to carry it out as you had planned it in your mind?
But you know, I watched the last 5 editions of the Melbourne Cup, and I had great advices from John Marshall, who walked the track with me yesterday. And sometimes it happens, the plans was going very well during the race. I was at the position I wanted, and I just had to wait the last moment to ask Dunaden to quicken. And the race was like in my dreams, and we managed to win by a short nose, so everything was perfect.
More like a short nose hair, I think, from the look of that photo. Have you been able to speak to Craig Williams, who was the jockey who was meant to be riding Dunaden today?
Not yet, but you know, it's difficult to talk with him right now. Maybe I will wait 2 or 3 days, because today he must be devastated by the victory of Dunaden, but I have a great thinking. I think about him, and I thank him for the prep race he gave to Dunaden. You know, it's bad moments that sometimes we go through with jockeys, and it's part of our life. So I'm sure in a few days he feels much better, and I try to talk with him.
Mr Delzonglay, what's next for the horse, and will you be bringing her back to the Melbourne Cup next year?
Well, if he's in good form at the end of next year, definitely we'll try to come back. I think he should go back home to France now for the winter.
Well, congratulations again to both of you, and thank you very much for making time today to speak to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the owners of the Melbourne Cup winner, Dunaden, today earned $3.6 million in prize money. Not bad for a day's work. However, while many punters may have lost their dough, there are many other winners due to the Cup Carnival, with retail, tourism and hospitality businesses coming out in front. But it isn't called the race that stops the nation for nothing, and it does take a big toll in lost productivity. Here's Emily Stewart.
Not everybody was lucky enough to be trackside today, but millions of Australians still had a flutter.
The 4 days of the carnival, over 5% of our wagering turnover is done in the 4 days on racing. Now that's about $435 million. Over $200 million will be turned over on Cup Day.
The Cup Carnival is also a sure bet for the fashion industry.
If I take Melbourne store, for the 4 days before the start of the Spring Racing Carnival, we sold 4,000 hats and fascinators.
Myers Bernie Brooks wasn't giving away earnings numbers, with the company's first quarter sales to be announced later this week.
We're in a pretty tough retail environment, but we're really pleased with the last couple of weeks, and more importantly pleased with the sales that we've achieved in that area.
It's a boom time for pubs, clubs and restaurants as people flock to venues to watch the race. And while in Victoria it's a public holiday, for employers in other states, it's an afternoon of lost productivity.
If you actually stack up all the numbers and you look at how many hours people will stop working as a consequence of the festivities around the Melbourne Cup, it amounts to almost $1 billion in pure productivity loss.
The chief executive of HR firm Randstad, Fred Vandertang, says the Cup Carnival is getting bigger every year and many employees expect to be given the afternoon off.
Interestingly, Queensland seems to be the most celebrative of states. The stats show that the people in Queensland really like to party around the Melbourne Cup. They get really engaged, organise lots and lots of events. So percentage-wise, they would probably be the most engaged. And then, of course, there's Victoria, who, well, for obvious reasons, are very much engaged. Perhaps least so, the guys in Canberra, who, you know, would like to get on with things, I guess, in this case, and don't seem to be that festive on Melbourne Cup Day.
But despite the lost work hours, employers benefit in other ways.
If you take into account that actually that productivity loss turns into good morale, staff events and team spirit, we actually believe that the overall impact of the Melbourne Cup to Australian business is actually very, very positive.
No doubt these party goers will drink to that.